Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. And yes, we're doing some different programming. As I promised, we are doing the nominations for Year of the Game 2024. Now, for those of you who don't know, Year of the Game is this annual cope that I do on my Discord server to sort of summarize the year that was in gaming and select the game that we believe is not the best game that came out in the preceding year, but the one that most accurately reflects the year that was. Now, last year we did this, and year of the game was Hogwarts Legacy. So it gives you a sense of sort of what the nominating criteria are, but I'm going to go through this with you, in part to show you the fun we have on our Discord server, in part just so people who aren't on the Discord all the time but do watch these videos go, hey guys, if you're a member, vote. So the getting into the Discord for this is closed for this year, but if you want to contribute for next year, help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/LeannaK, or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone who can use it but can't afford it, coffee.com/LeannaK. And for people think that that's the only amount you can give on Coffee, it's not. You can give any dollar amount. That's just the one I suggest because, well, it helps to track. If you like this content, support the channel. It gives us the ability to do stuff like this. Because every year I'm like, oh, I'll start this way in advance this year. And we kind of did. But I was scrambling to put it together. But I upped the production values this year. I put pictures on some of the voting forms. I know this seems small, but with my schedule lately, I'm very, very proud of myself. So without further ado, back pats all around. I'm trying to make sure this image is squared up properly. Let's go through the nominees. Now this is just, I'm reading it off the Google form we made for the preview of the Google form. So you'll get a bit of a sense by the banner. Year of the game. Again, the game we feel embodies the year as a whole best, not the game we think is the best. With notable exceptions, we restrict nominees to products that were released in 2024. So our first category is Best Adaptation. Which adaptation of a video game franchise did you think was the best? Because 2024 was notable for the number of things in gaming that weren't games. The Fallout live-action streaming series, the Borderlands movie, which I know got panned, but I enjoyed it, Arcane Season 2, the animated streaming series, Tomb Raider, The Legend of Lara Croft, Secret Level, that has few really, I'm not going to bias, I'm watching Secret Level, I'm enjoying it, and the Like a Dragon Yakuza live-action streaming series. So big year, these all came out in 2024, big game for adaptations. Our next category, fixed it in post-release. We believe in second chances. These nominees are titles that provided significant improvements in patches in 2024. So Cyberpunk 2077, Baldur's Gate 3, No Man's Sky, and Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader just dropped a massive patch like within days of these awards going live. So that snuck that in. Best remake or year and remaster. One of the trends this year was a lot of remakes and remasters, as you can see by the size of the category. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, Persona 3 Reload, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Silent Hill 2, Dragon Quest 3 2D remake, 2.5D remake, and Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. I have no idea what I'm going to pick in that category. This was all nominated by Discord server members, if you're wondering where you come from. Best DLC is another one. There was a lot of really quality DLC in 2024. Alan Wake 2, both the Night Springs and Lake House DLCs, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree, which could have been a game in of itself, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, A Dance of Masks, Final Fantasy 16, Rising Tide, and Astrobot Winter Wonderland. Now we get down to what's really important. We have a best waifu category because we agreed that 2024 was the year sexy started coming back to games. So no surprise, Eve from Stellar Blade is nominated for Best Waifu. Scarlet from Unicorn Overload, and this is why I put pictures. So people who haven't played the games can still have an opinion. Ivy from Dreadlock, my personal favorite. Elena Claire from Trails Through Daybreak. Trails Through Daybreak. I was fine until now. Lace Harding from Dragon Age the Veilguard, and Hulkenberg from Metaphor Refantasio. All right, so that's waifu. Of course, we did Best Husbando as well. Ichiban Kasuga from Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth was originally in the waifu list. No one caught it until the absolute last minute. We almost put him in both categories as a joke, but, last minute we changed our mind. So Sung Wukong from Black with Wukong got nominated by Best Husbando. Again, this is Community. Ichiban did. Aramis from Unicorn Overload. Emmerich Volkaren and Manfred. We're making this a double one. Emmerich Volkaren and Manfred from Dragon Age the Veilguard. Prince Sheridesval from Trails Through Daybreak. And Basilio Lupus Magnus from Metaphor Refantasio. Moving on to Peer Pressured. The game we played this year that didn't necessarily come out this year because we wanted to feel included. They are Baldur's Gate 3, Dragon Age the Veilguard, mostly because of Hassan and Manfred, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Star Wars Outlaws, and Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Dragon Age Origins, and Dragon Age 2. You can imagine that the pre-Veilguard discussion is where Mass Effect came from. But yes, these are games that a lot of us played just because so many people were talking about it on the server that they're like, I'm going to try it. That is different from the next category that we're calling the Hype Goblins Hype Train. These are games that somebody just got so excited about, or multiple people got so excited about, that other people started playing it just because they were so excited. And that's one of the amazing things about games. It's not just FOMO. The hype train is real. And these three games were Metaphor Refantasio, Trails Through Daybreak, and Marvel Rivals, mostly because of Jeff the Land Shark. If you don't know who Jeff the Land Shark is, look it up. West Coast Avengers, Jeff the Land Shark is everything. Now we moved on to the most shameless cash farm. We really struggled with what to call this because we don't necessarily think these games have no value, but they are things designed to make us keep funneling money into these games. So we felt the need to point this out because, again, Year of the Game is about trends in gaming. So the most shameless cash farm, I have no idea how this one's going to go. Destiny 2, The Sims 4, I hate The Sims. Diablo 4, Star Citizen, again, nominees from the community. Mech Warrior 5 Clans, and the game whose title we're censoring because the dev might attack us for outrage bucks. If you're in the Discord, you saw the conversation, but we just don't want to get into that. Note the category. Okay, the game that continues to haunt us. While we may have started off liking this game, the sheer amount of overexposure, grind, re-release versions, or just something really disturbing about it means it continues to give us nightmares in some way. The nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, The Last of Us 2, and its many, many remakes, Life is Strange, and its many, many sequels, Star Citizen, and World of Warcraft. You may see how the last two categories were connected. But again, trends in gaming, not whether a game is bad or good. Best mental health game. Obviously, this is good. This is the game this year that we found most soothing or wholesome and got us through stress or a hard time. It did not have to come out this year. So the nominees are Power Wash Simulator, Satisfactory 1.0, Timberborn. Is this Gris or Grease? I don't know. This isn't mine. And Mario and Luigi Brothership for best mental health game. Obviously, people are going to feel real attachment to those. The Press F to Pay Respects category. Our category honoring the biggest flops that we could remember this year. Flop, of course, is sometimes highly subjective. God. Press F to Pay Respects nominees are Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, Concord, City Skylines 2, and Skull and Bones. Now, the next one is one of the first categories that got filled. A Year of the Game nominations. Worst PR or marketing. A major trend of 2024 was god-awful marketing. We don't know what the PR and marketing teams on these games were thinking. The nominees are Avowed. They managed to make an Obsidian game look bad. Yep, it's not out yet, but yeah. Star Wars Outlaws, the release of unpolished footage and poor presentation of what the game actually is. And then I probably should have added a failure to control the spin on what went on there, but not all of that was their fault. It's a cute game, though. I enjoyed it. I haven't finished it, but the bit I've played, I enjoy it. Banisher's Ghosts of New Eden. Never heard of it. Exactly. Dragon Age The Veilguard. EA released review copies to those nearly guaranteed to give it a positive review, pretty much guaranteeing that people wouldn't trust the reviews. Instead of releasing information on Hassan the Griffin and Manfred the Skeleton Man, the Lord Byron reference there alone is gold. And the last nomination, Towers of Agashpa. Again, never heard of it. Exactly. Again, these were nominated by our community. You think someone should have been here? Join our community, right? The next thing, next category, instead of worst PR marketing, dumbest scandal. Now, this is not saying that these companies did not make any mistakes, but sometimes in gaming, the outrage gets exceptionally stupid. 2024 was a peak year for that. Kind of every year is a peak year for that, which is where Year of the Game came from. But these were the top 4 that we could remember. Stellar Blade, the Butcherversy, as we've named it, followed by a complete freak out because a lace panel was added to a bodysuit. Assassin's Creed Shadows, people completely lost their minds about whether Yasuke was a samurai. Ubisoft ended up delaying the release of the game. You notice I did not put causation there. That's just what happened. I, for one, sat there watching the Wikipedia on Yasuke get edited back and forth during that whole thing. Dragon Age The Veilguard, we already acknowledged the problems with the marketing, but beyond this, people went to war over optional cosmetics in the character builder and some non-binary characters when you can pet a griffin, people. And Helldivers 2, for dumbest scandal. After The Usual Suspects couldn't tell the difference between satirizing fascism and promoting it, Sony decided to make a PSN link a requirement, meaning the game couldn't be played in many countries. Extra points on this one. Arrowhead's own community manager apparently told fans to review bomb the game. So those are the dumbest scandals of 2024. Not necessarily because there was no reason to complain, just how big they got. Now, we come to a new category for this year, reverse Year of the Game. Because people started putting in games that they just thought were good and deserved some credit into Year of the Game. And I kept saying, no. Year of the Game is about spoofing the year in gaming. So we decided to add a category for games we really thought did a good job this year. Some of them may have flown under the radar. Some of them we just want to show we're not complete snarky assholes. Okay, so Astrobot for reverse Year of the Game. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Metaphor ReFantasio. The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. Scald Against the Black Priory. Unicorn Overload. And thank goodness you're here. You will note, I put a note on Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. It did originally come out in, I believe, Japan in 2021, but we counted it because obviously most of our community doesn't live in Japan, and it was released worldwide this year. So that's reverse Game of the Year. Pretty solid lineup. I discovered some games through this list. I'm like, what? Okay, and now we get to the reason this whole thing exists. Year of the Game. It was a strong pack this year that summarized the loud, obnoxious, litigious, and flat-out bizarre culture war year that was in gaming. Remember, you're not voting for the best game. You're voting for the game that most representative of the year 2024. Your nominees are Pal World. It's Pokemon with guns. And it got sued for being too much like Pokemon. This lawsuit is still going on, though they patched it to be less like Pokemon. Seriously, though, Pokemon with guns is a pretty brilliant concept. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Take a concept that only edgelords will want to play, that is killing the Justice League, which another franchise already did better. I'm looking at you, Injustice. Then springboard off a disastrous cycle for an IP, the DCEU. Then get caught up in a very silly scandal by hiring narrative consultants that the edgelords are going to hate. Sweet babying. And good lord, they actually, spoiler, Batman. Nominee for Game of the Year next, Helldivers 2. A game that was a victim of its own success, leading to server issues. Then it got accused of fascism because it satirized fascism, got into a pissing match with Sony that eventually won, but it lost 90% of its player base in the process. Apparently, I looked that up. But it managed to win some awards, and it seems to be surviving. Keep going, Helldivers 2. You are nominated for Year of the Game. Black Myth Wukong is also nominated for Year of the Game. If you are writing a parody of a game development studio, this one might be it. It's Okay When We Do It censorship of reviews, a glimpse into the horribly toxic microcosm of game dev under the CCP, and a cranky, maladjusted studio head to boot. News about that just broke this week. And the game is about furries. Mythical furries. So, of course, Sun Wukong ended up in the Best Husbando character category on my server. Thing is, after all of that, we agreed the game is decent. So, Year of the Game. Stellar Blade, also nominated for Year of the Game. A lot of people played this game because of the controversy. And it's uneven. The gameplay caps very early. A lot of the alternate costumes are really dumb. The music is straight out of an elevator in hell, and the narrative and lore are deeply buried in side missions. But the game was very profitable, which just shows that game studios probably shouldn't have been so scared of controversy surrounding attractive women in video games. We salute you, Stellar Blade, for Game of the Year. Year of the Game. Game of the Year. And finally, should be no surprise after the number of times it's nominated, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, nominated for Year of the Game. And this is a long one. After 10 tortured years of development, BioWare releases a product that feels like it was only made in 3. There's a lot about Veilguard that deserves criticism, notably dialogue wheel at its worst, conversation writing. But that's not what the internet went to war over. No, the internet fought over optional top surgery scars in the character creator, complained about a moody teenager being moody while they struggle with their identity, and fixated on female characters being ugly because they've aged 10 years in game time. And yet, the party characters are vastly improved from Inquisition. The combat does not suck. The goofy fun that we liked in Origins and parts of Dragon Age 2 are back, and you can pet the cats, dogs, and griffins. Also, Manfred is MVP. That's it. That's the T. You notice I put Manfred with his T set in the Dragon Age, the Veilguard image. Can you tell I like Manfred? The community really likes Manfred. Manfred is a real revelation. So that's it. Year of the Game. Nominees for 2024. I managed to put on a bit of makeup to present this, even though I'm still wearing like really ratty house clothes. I will class it up for the announcement of the winners. That will come next Tuesday after the community has had a chance to vote on it. The community is starting voting today. So if you are a Discord server member, make sure you get on there because we will be discussing Year of the Game, that if you want to make up your mind before you vote. Everything else is just personal preference. Year of the Game is the one we like to have a discussion about because it's just catharsis from how weird certain things got. So if you like these sorts of initiatives, if you like this sort of community, if you like this summary of gaming culture instead of just the trailer awards, help support this channel, become a monthly patron, patreon.com/LeannaK, or buy a one-time Leanna Care session for someone can use it but can't afford it, coffee.com/LeannaK. Both methods get you invites to the Discord server. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week to announce the winners of Year of the Game 2024. Thanks for watching.